Right now we're putting some of our game sausages to good use, and we're making wild game chorizo sausage sandwiches. Now you can use any wild game sausage at all to make this game sausage sandwich. However, I tend to like it a little more savory, and I have some venison chorizo sausages that I just made this past fall. So we need to prep a few ingredients before we start assembling this sandwich, and what we're gonna do is start by cooking our sausage. We're gonna take it out of the casing just by squeezing it and pushing it out, and we'll brown that really nice. And we wanna have the pan fairly hot, medium-high heat, so that we can brown the meat really nice, and that browning, char, whatever it looks like, is going to add a lot of awesome flavor to the end product. Now, since wild game can be a little bit lean, depending on how much fat you actually put in your sausage, we are going to add some oil to this and start cooking our sausage. And one of the secrets to making sure you get a really good sear on your meat and making sure that the juices don't just leak out all over the pan is, once you've got the meat in the pan, situate it where it needs to go and just leave it and let it sit in one spot, and that will get a really nice browning on the bottom side. All right, the sausage is looking pretty cooked, so we can pull this out of the pan, and now we'll start cooking down our onions. So in the same pan, we'll add a little more oil, and we'll go in with our finely sliced onion. And at this point, you can use a fairly low heat. We're not looking to necessarily get these onions black and charred. We want to cook them down a little bit slowly so they break down. You can also add a little bit of salt at this point, and what that will do is help the onions sweat, so they'll lose a little bit of their liquid. That will evaporate, and the onions will just get nice and soft and caramelized. Now with these onions nicely browned, we can go in with some roasted red peppers. We aren't really looking to cook these, we just want to bring them up to temperature. We aren't really looking to cook these because they're already cooked and soft. We're just looking to get a little bit of heat throughout them and maybe add a little extra char. Since this is all going into the same bun anyhow, we can add our sausages back in and just warm those back up. So before we assemble the sandwiches, I'm going to show you the one major trick that any outdoors person should know. This goes good with any wild game that you can hunt. And the trick you need to know is how to make an amazing and simple chimichurri. So here we go. We have flat leaf parsley chopped up in a bowl, and I like to add a little bit of red onion. This is fine diced red onion. That goes in. 3 to 5 cloves of crushed garlic, whatever you like. Chimichurri needs something spicy, so I'm going in with some larger chunks of jalapeno. Of course, we need some salt in there, a decent amount. This is a condiment and it's just going on top, so you can have a fairly decent amount of salt inside, and cracked black pepper. Now we're going to add enough olive oil to make sure that everything is covered. So we'll make sure that everything is coated really well. And to go in there with a bit of acid and balance this out, we are going to hit it with some apple cider vinegar. And you can use any vinegar, but I really like to use apple cider. In goes our vinegar. All right, and there's our chimichurri, done. And now for assembly. You can use a garlic mayonnaise for this, but I'm just going to use a regular mayonnaise. Get a little bit on each side. And this is where we really load them up with all of that chopped sausage, onion, and red pepper. Now, since these are going in the oven, we're going to put some really nice cheese on top. You can use a mozzarella, provolone, or really any kind of cheese that you prefer. You just want something that's going to melt really nice. And our oven is floating around 350 degrees. These go in. Now this is the biggest move in the wild meat sausage sandwich game, and you gotta take all of that beautiful chimichurri that you made and slather a good layer of it on top. Now this isn't an easy thing to eat.